Hello everybody! This eyeshadow is very pigmented and very bold, and I want to say like the usual realm of makeup I do, but it's not. It's a look. Look with a L-E-W-K. Today I am reviewing the Blush Tribe Blossom eyeshadow palette. It is so pretty. I've been eyeing this for about 3 months because Rosha and Angelica recommended them to me. And by recommended them to me, I mean I've watched a couple of videos and they seem like they really love this palette. So if you didn't know, Blush Tribe is created by a Pakistani Muslim here from the UK, and because I wanted to support her, I purchased this palette. It was either this or the Fall Fusion, but I decided to get this because I feel like I'd get more use out of the colors. I've waited 3 months to purchase it, and here is my review. So if you want to know my full thoughts, then please keep on watching. So the Blossom palette retails for £24.99 for 16 shades. That is £1 per shade. I did use Angelica's discount for 10% off, but paid for shipping, so it came down to a total of £26.99. When it arrived, there was already a dent in the packaging, like right here. And to be honest, I was a little annoyed at it, but you know, not gonna lie, I can deal with it. So the palette is best described as a rainbow palette inspired by flowers, hence the name Blossom. So you've got all the shades of the rainbow in pastels and brights, plus a black, a white, and a pop of brown. All the colors in this palette are matte, which is freaking fantastic because I love mattes. I'm not really a shimmer girl. The first thing I notice about this palette is the color story. It is absolutely beautiful. I've never seen so much color in one palette. My one concern is that it's a lot more pastel than I initially thought when I purchased it. I thought it was gonna be super pigmented, super bright, something like Sugar Pill palettes. But no, when they came in the mail and I looked at it, I was like, oh, they're actually quite light and pastel-y, like Daisy and I cannot pronounce this shade, Lysianthus. So they are like surprisingly pastel and they don't show up on my skin as well as some of the other colors do. And so that's one of my main concerns when I was looking into this palette, was that it was not as pigmented as I thought it would be. Other colors on the other hand were. So colors like Peony, Petunia, Dahlia, they're incredibly pigmented. Even the blues, so pigmented to apply. But other colors like Daisy, Lysianthus, and Zinnia aren't as pigmented as I thought they would be. But to be honest, they are still buildable, so that's how I got this eyeshadow look going on. My favorite colors from this palette has to be the pinks and the yellows. The yellow is so pigmented. Sunflower is one of the most pigmented yellows I've worked with by comparison to the NYX COLOURFUL palette. I keep forgetting what it's called. I wish the red was nicer. I thought the red would be like a really bold blood red, but instead it's kind of pastel red. It's cute. That's what I would say with this palette. It's really cute. Like, this is the red they have and it's not so bad, but I was really looking forward to see a really dark blood red, like a pure red shade. I'm so desperate to find one, but instead this one's more pastel and light. And it's not really that easy to build up. Like when you layer it, the swatch underneath kind of brushes away and it doesn't really build up the pigmentation. In addition, the blue in this palette, they're super pigmented. So Blue Days and Brunei, really pigmented shades. So when I applied the eyeshadow and tried to blend it, you can see demarcations, and where I kind of tried to blend it out, you can see skin peeking through, and I didn't really like that. The blues I find have a lot of kickback and fallout. They tend to fall underneath the eye, so I have to apply that first before I apply the rest of my makeup. So those are my thoughts on the color scheme of this palette. Let's move on to this eyeshadow look. I'll probably be recreating this look by Nancy Bella. I saw it when I was scrolling through Instagram for lunch and I was like, oh my god, it's so pretty. For this palette, I'm going to be sticking to my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot because I've noticed with this eyeshadow palette, it's better to use an actual primer and to set it in place. So I'm looking at the eyeshadow right now, and I think I'm gonna start by creating the crease. You can see there's a really strong V shape. I'll be taking Peony first with a flat shader brush. This is a little fluffy, and I'll just start creating a V. It goes really far out. I prefer the pinks in this palette. They're my favorite pinks I've ever worked with. And I'm saying that as someone who doesn't like pink, full stop. Then I'm just tapping into Dahlia and just blending that into Peony and just work it in. So I don't have a purple exactly that color, but we do have a blue. We have 2 blue shades. So I think I'm gonna add Blue Days right there, and then Brunera over there. Brunera. These are words I've never learned to pronounce. Anyway, I'm taking Blue Days. The blues in this palette, they have a lot of fallout and a lot of kickback, and I feel like they're the worst performing shadows in the palette. I wore it for like an event and I noticed it was really patchy, and I covered it up with some false lashes and hopefully it saved the look, but to be honest, maybe it was just me, but I didn't really think it was that nice. But I'm going on a tangent. I'll give all my opinions like right after this portion. Anyway, I'm gonna be taking this eyeshadow, making sure it's placed kind of flat, and taking it in the outer corners and bringing it into the middle of my crease. That is really patchy. I can see where the demarcation is, where I applied it, and how it kind of just fell away. I think it's going well so far. Looks a little weird, but it's not as bad as it could be. I'm gonna move on to the lighter blue, and I'm taking Brunera and just applying that on the middle of my lids. Brunera and Blue Days, they have a lot of patchiness, which I've noticed, and you can see skin showing up there. That's as far as I'm gonna go with the pinks and the blues. Let's move on to the green. I'm gonna be honest, I actually haven't touched the green. I think I've used in like 2 looks and they were okay, but they were just accent colors rather than the full-on eyeshadow look. So we're just gonna move on and try it. I'm gonna be taking the color Clover and applying that right on the inner corners right here. So let's cut the crease now. I'm gonna be using the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define instead of my MAC Soft Ochre paint pot. I find that concealers are much easier to cut the crease with anyway. So the eyeshadows on the lid is red, orange, yellow. I'm gonna apply the yellow and then the orange and then the red and probably recreate that underneath the eye. Now I'm gonna be taking, I'm gonna take Zinnia and apply that onto the center of my lid. I need that to blend more. I don't like how unblended that looks. That's a little better, but I don't think it's blending as nicely as this picture. After that, I'm taking Rose and just packing that on the outer corners. I can hide it with like false lashes, right? That is as far as I go with the top shadow. In the photo, she uses gold liquid liner to outline the cut crease, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna stick with white. Okay, I'm just gonna get a clean Q-tip and see what I can do. Nope, made it worse. Fuck. Didn't take hours of work. No, it's fine. Maybe I'm just actually really bad at makeup, and I just tricked myself into thinking I was good because I thought, hey, you know what? I have to be good at something. I'm gonna stop the top lid right there before I do something even worse. I'm gonna quickly apply my foundation and I'll be right back. As you can see, I've done my foundation, my highlight, my blush, my contour, basically everything apart from the eyes and lipstick. So let's move on straight to the lower lash line. I'm gonna start by taking Peony and running that underneath my eye. I'm gonna go back in with Rose and just apply that underneath the eye and blending it in with Peony. Then I'm just taking zinnia and blending that out. Then I'm going to take Sunflower, applying that right underneath my inner corner. I'm going to finish this look off with an inner corner highlight. She uses like a little cute sequin, but I don't have that. So instead I'm going to go into Dandelion and just apply it right in the inner corners for a matte highlight. I'm going to quickly apply some lashes and liner and my lipstick, and I'll be right back to finish off this review. So this is the final look, as you can tell from the intro of this video. Honestly, I think this look is really, really pretty. Thank you so much, Nancy Bella, to actually recreate it, post it on Instagram so I could copy it and, you know, try my best. This is a real poor imitation of her work. Anyway, this palette. I actually really like this palette. I think it's one of those palettes that you really need to work with and play around with to find what works for you. It's not going to hit you with pigmentation. You really have to take your time and build up the colors and make sure everything blends out nicely. That's just my personal preference. I honestly don't mind that when it comes to an eyeshadow palette, especially with colors. When you're playing around with colors, you do need to take your time and create better eyeshadow looks. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you need to build up pigmentation. Sometimes that's what you need, especially with colorful eyeshadow palettes, but that's my personal opinion. I'd say this is like my second or my third colorful eyeshadow palette, because I have the Juvia's Masquerade palette and the NYX Brights palette. So this would be my second or third. And I really do like it. I really love playing around with the colors. I brought it along to several photo shoots to do their makeup, and it's super nice, and the models always look really great. So this is a really good standalone palette, or you can use it as like an accent shade. I've created a few looks with this eyeshadow palette. I'll put the videos and photos up here. And I didn't have a lot of problems when applying them. It was the blues that I had the most problem with, and that was most likely because I tried to use that on its own as like a really bold blue eyeshadow look, and in hindsight, probably not the best thing now that I know that. I think this palette would be really great in your kit if you want to play around and learn how to do more makeup, and if you want to support more indie brands. That's what I'm trying to do this year and next year and hopefully forever, because, you know, support people and their brands, not the conglomerate that purchases everything. I'm just kidding, just buy whatever you want. I just want to support a small business and, you know, play around with the eyeshadow looks, because, you know, I really love playing around with makeup. It's just I don't have the time. You will need to build up the colors if you want an eyeshadow look like this. It's slow, it's steady, but the end result is always going to be really nice if you just take the time and effort. But yeah, I do recommend this palette if you are a beginner and you want to try out more shades that are easy to work with and that you want to practice your blending skills. I know Angelica and Rocio has a code. I think I will check, but usually I do have like 20% off every single damn month, and I just missed it. I will try and buy more palettes from them simply because I want to support smaller businesses, especially one that is created by a Pakistani Muslim. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video now. So if you like this video, do like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me down below what you think of this eyeshadow look or what you think about the Blossom Tribe palette. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Bash Harry, and thanks so much for watching.